Dr. James Parker slowly walked through the long corridors of Meridian Gate Station, feeling the weight of another exhausting day. He had spent nearly 12 hours inside the xenobiology laboratory studying strange genetic samples collected from alien species across the galaxy. His head felt heavy. 3 important discoveries about century genetic markers were still running through his mind, along with hundreds of other thoughts about unfinished research. Right now, the only thing he truly needed was sleep. The station hallway was unusually quiet. Most of the crew had already returned to their quarters for the night. James finally reached the door of his private room and started searching for his access key on the console beside it. But then he stopped. Someone was already standing there. At first he assumed it might be another scientist waiting to discuss research results. However, when the figure stepped slightly forward under the corridor lights, James immediately realized something was different. The woman standing before him was not human. Her skin carried a faint bluish tone, almost glowing under the station lights. Long violet hair flowed over elegant armor that looked both ceremonial and advanced. Next to her stood a small girl with the same blue skin and bright curious eyes. Both of them were quietly watching him. The woman spoke first. "Dr. Parker," she said calmly. A small translator device on her collar converted her voice into clear human language. "My name is Counselor Sra Talvarez." She paused for a moment before continuing. "I hope I am not disturbing you, but I came here for an important reason." She gently placed her hand on the little girl's shoulder. Then she said something James Parker would never forget. "Human. I came here because my daughter wanted to see you." The girl looked up at him with amazement. "Mom, it's really him." James felt a sudden chill run through his body. "Who, exactly do you think I am?" James Parker stared at the alien woman and the small girl beside her, trying to understand what was happening. For a moment, the quiet corridor of Meridian Gate Station felt heavier than before. "Your daughter wanted to see me?" James repeated slowly. The woman nodded with calm confidence. "Yes, Dr. Parker." Before he could ask another question, the little girl stepped slightly forward. Her eyes were wide with curiosity, almost as if she had been waiting for this moment for a very long time. "It's really you," she said softly. James frowned in confusion. "What do you mean?" The girl looked at her mother for a second, then turned back to James. "I see you when I sleep," she explained. Those words made James pause. "In your dreams?" he asked. The girl nodded again. "Almost every night." James felt a strange chill move down his spine. As a scientist, he believed in evidence, logic, and data, not dreams. "That doesn't make sense," he muttered. The alien woman stepped forward slightly. "My daughter's name is Lyra," she said. "For 3 years she has been seeing the same human in her dreams. The same face. The same place." James crossed his arms, trying to stay calm. "And that human is me?" "Yes." Lyra slowly raised her hand and pointed toward him. "In my dreams you show me things," she said quietly. "Stars, planets, and a blue world called Earth." James felt his heartbeat quicken. "How could you know about Earth?" he asked. Lyra's answer was simple. "Because you told me." The corridor suddenly felt much colder. James looked back at the alien counselor, hoping she would explain. Instead, her expression became even more serious. "That is why we traveled across space to find you, Dr. Parker," she said. She took a slow breath before adding something even more mysterious. "Because according to our scientists, this should be impossible." James Parker leaned against the cold metal wall of the corridor, trying to steady his thoughts. Nothing about this situation made sense. An alien child claiming she had seen him in her dreams, for 3 years. As a scientist, he knew dreams were simply the brain processing memories and imagination. They weren't supposed to connect 2 different species across light years of space. So let me understand this, James said slowly. Your daughter dreams about a human she has never met, and somehow that human is me. Counselor Sra Talvarez nodded. Yes. James looked down at the small girl again. Lyra was staring at him with the same fascinated expression, almost like she was finally meeting someone she had known her entire life. In your dreams, James asked carefully, where do we meet? Lyra pointed down the corridor. Here. James felt his stomach tighten. This place, he asked. Yes, Lyra answered. You stand near a door, and you talk to me about stars. James glanced at the exact spot she pointed to. It was the door to his room. A cold wave moved through his chest. That's impossible, he whispered. Counselor Talvarez watched him closely. Our scientists thought the same thing, she said. Until we analyzed my daughter's neural signals while she was dreaming. James looked up quickly. What did you find? The alien woman's voice became lower. A pattern. James frowned. What kind of pattern? A signal, she replied. James blinked in disbelief. A signal coming from where? Talvarez held his gaze. From Earth. The corridor fell silent again. James felt his heartbeat pounding in his ears. You're telling me, he said slowly, that somehow, my brain is sending signals across 40 light-years into your daughter's dreams? Talvarez shook her head slightly. That is what we thought at first. She paused for a moment. Then she revealed something that made the mystery even deeper. But the signal did not start 3 years ago. James stared at her. Then when did it start? Talvarez answered quietly. The signal began, 20 years ago. James Parker felt the words echo inside his mind. 20 years ago. That didn't make sense at all. 20 years, he repeated slowly. But your daughter looks like she's only 8 or 9 years old. Lyra quietly held her mother's hand while watching James carefully. Counselor Sra Talvarez nodded. You are correct, she said calmly. Lyra is 9 years old. James spread his hands in confusion. Then how could the signal start 20 years ago? Talvarez remained silent for a moment, as if she was deciding how much to reveal. Our scientists searched for the origin of the signal, she finally explained. At first, we believed it came from your planet's communication networks, satellites, space probes, or radio transmissions. James shook his head. That would be impossible. Human technology can't send signals that far with that kind of precision. Exactly, Talvarez replied. That is why we continued searching. James felt a strange uneasiness growing inside him. And what did you find? The alien woman slowly reached into a small device attached to her armor. A soft holographic light appeared in the air between them. Inside the projection was a series of complex energy waves and coordinates. This is the signal pattern, Talvarez said. James leaned closer. Even without fully understanding the alien symbols, one thing was immediately clear. The signal was extremely old. How old? He asked quietly. Talvarez looked directly at him. Approximately 20 Earth years. James felt his chest tighten again. That still doesn't explain why my daughter dreams about you, Talvarez continued. She adjusted the hologram, zooming into the origin point. The coordinates slowly shifted until they highlighted a single location. James's heart skipped a beat when he recognized it. It wasn't a satellite. It wasn't a laboratory. It wasn't even a city. The signal had originated from a small hospital in Chicago. And according to the timestamp, it started on the exact day James Parker was born. James Parker stared at the holographic coordinates floating in the air. The hospital. Chicago. The exact date of his birth. For several seconds he couldn't say a single word. That has to be a mistake, James finally said, shaking his head. Hospitals don't send signals across galaxies. Counselor Sra Talvarez slowly turned off the hologram. Our scientists confirmed the data many times, she replied. The signal truly began the moment you were born. James ran a hand through his hair, trying to calm his racing thoughts. But why? He asked. What connection could I possibly have with your species? Talvarez looked down at her daughter for a moment. Lyra stepped forward again. This time her small hand gently touched James's wrist. The moment she did, a strange warmth spread through his body. Images suddenly flashed through his mind. Bright stars. Strange alien skies. A distant planet with glowing oceans. James pulled his hand back in shock. What was that? Lyra looked just as surprised as he was. I saw it again, she whispered. Saw what? James asked quickly. The place from my dreams, the one you always show me. Talvarez's expression changed immediately. What place? She asked her daughter. Lyra slowly looked up at James. In my dreams, he always tells me that one day I will return there. James felt a cold chill move down his spine. Return, he repeated. Talvarez's voice became very serious. Yes. She stepped closer to him. Because according to our oldest records, that planet is not only our home. She paused before revealing the truth. It was once yours as well. James Parker felt as if the ground beneath him had disappeared. Mine? He asked quietly. What do you mean it was once mine? Counselor Sra Talvarez looked at him with a calm but serious expression. For centuries, our historians believed it was only a myth, she explained. A legend about a traveler from another world, a human who once helped our civilization survive. James shook his head slowly. That can't be me. Talvarez continued. The legend says that this traveler shared knowledge about stars, science, and the future. He helped our people understand the universe. Lyra gently held James's hand again. And in my dreams, she said softly, you always teach me those same things. James felt the strange warmth return, and suddenly more images appeared in his mind. A distant planet. Alien cities glowing under purple skies. And himself, standing there, older, speaking to a crowd of alien children. He quickly pulled his hand away, breathing heavily. This is impossible, he said. Talvarez nodded slightly. Our scientists agree. Time travel, memory echoes, or quantum connections between minds, we do not yet know the explanation. Lyra looked up at him with hopeful eyes. But I know one thing, she said. James looked down at her. What is that? The little alien girl smiled. In my dreams, you always say something before you leave. James frowned. What do I say? Lyra repeated the words slowly. Don't worry, Lyra, one day we will meet again. The corridor became silent. James felt a strange realization settle deep inside his heart. Maybe it was impossible. Maybe science had no answer yet. But somehow, across dreams, across time, and across the vast distance between stars, they had finally met again.